Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron, I hope you're having a great day in Jesus. We're going to look at the KJVER. I know a lot of you out there like the KJVER. You like the King James, but you want it just maybe a little easier to read. But you don't like the New King James, the MEV's too far away, you know, all this. So we're going to take a look at it. And this, I mean, they're coming out with it in such fascinating formats. I mean, for years, you had to get this big sword Bibles, 15-point print and all this. So this is like a leather soft, and, you know, they're doing leather soft so amazing. And you can pick these things up. I think I paid maybe $11.99 for this. But it's just great. It's in a thin line, and we're going to see that it's a large print thin line as well. We're going to see what the KJVER is. You know, and for years it was known as a sword Bible. Whitaker House, you know, when I was in book selling, they were more like charismatic. They did a lot of charismatic stuff. Beautiful, beautiful presentation page. I feel like I need to show you that. It's that nice. Very well done. Now, I will say it does not look like it is Smith sewn. It does look like it is a glued binding. We're going to see if it is, though. Hebrew names of God indicated and explained, special word meanings noted, complete red letter edition. That's one thing people like. They like the red letter in the Old Testament as well as the New. I remember years ago they had the green letter Bible. A lot of people love that. Okay, and so it's got a ton of different things. Whitaker House is in New Kensington, Pennsylvania. The KJVER, which the ER stands for Easy Read. And so it is copyrighted. You can go up to 1,000 words without express written permission, and or you can write a book, but the book can be no more than 25% of this. Okay, not in-sale media such as church bullet. Okay, it says so you can do this. All right, I was trying to see what the dates. Okay, 2001, 2007, 2010, 2015. So they're obviously having to make a few changes to keep the copyright. So let's just read just a little bit about what this is. This is, it's got an introduction to the Bible, then it's got an introduction to the King James Version, Benjamin Blaney. Okay, here we come to what I just thought it'd be good if we saw what they say the KJVER. The King James Version Easy Read Bible is a unique Bible study tool. The basic text, of course, is the beloved King James Version of 1611, with minor word changes in the case of clearly archaic or obsolete words, of which there is said to be about 800. The red lettering, but Vance has shown that they're still used everywhere pretty much. The red lettering in this Bible is a first, and it's been done throughout the Bible. All right? The reader should be aware, however, the red lettering is only suggestive in many instances, both in the Old and New Testament. Scholars as well as ordinary people will differ as to whether or not this or that particular verse or passage should have been in red, because we know it's all the words of God, you know. But like John 3 is a classic example. Where does Jesus quit talking to Nicodemus, and where is it John, you know, talking? And it's just kind of interesting. So then, the King James Version Easy Read changes all second-person singular pronouns to their modern equivalents. Thee is now you. Thy is your. Thine is yours. And thyself is yourself. To distinguish the plural pronouns from the singular ones, the King James Easy Reader Bible places a superscript P, meaning plural, after each plural second-person pronoun. Accordingly, the Old English forms yield to the modern equivalents. Ye is you, you is you, your is your, yours is your, and yourselves, yourselves. Whenever these forms reflect the name of deity, they begin with a capital letter. Okay, so that's very important, because one of the things people like about the King James is it brings the Hebrew and Greek into English, being the third biblical language, as you could call it, because it comes from Paleo-Hebrew and Greek. We've done many videos on that. That's just established fact. You can go to Wikipedia on that. And Joseph may be creating it, which is fascinating. But anyhow, so thee, thine, thy are singular, ye, you is plural. So what they do is they put a P out there. Okay, so even though they took out the thee, thy, thine, it still has a P, or not a P if it's singular, or a P if it's plural, a little P, a superscript P. We'll see if we can find some instances of that. Okay, in addition to changing the Old English second-person pronouns, archaic verb forms have been changed to their modern counterparts. For example, knoweth becomes knows, shouldest becomes should, shalt becomes shall, and holpen becomes helped. Okay, modernizing second-person pronouns and archaic verb forms removes about 98% of the confusion that some have with the King James Bible. A few other textual changes, such as to wit, that is to know, even, evening, armor, and basically like armor has a U in it, Savior has a U in it. Those are British terms. Americans would take away the U. The King James translation is still presented as verbal, formal, equivalent accuracy. It remains a word for word translation. Okay, Hebrew names for God. This is kind of neat too. Another unique feature of the Bible is the emphasis that's been placed upon providing the reader with indications of the Hebrew names of God used in many places in the Old Testament. A complete explanatory section of the names of God and the significance of each is also included, which is stellar, by the way. These names of God, it reminds me of Spangler's of the Names of God Bible, which is good. We've done a review on that as well. These names of God, usually listed at the end of each appropriate Old Testament verse, will prove to be a continual source of added inspiration and blessing. The reader will need only to consult the explanatory pages for the basic names. All right, so that's underlined words. Let's see what the underlined words are. Okay, underlined words are explained at the end of the verse in smaller typeface. When an underlined portion occurs more than once per column, it's usually explained the first and last time it occurs in each column of text. The reader should not necessarily view the explanatory words or alternate or corrective translations. Experience has proved, however, these explanatory words will often open up the meaning of a word. And it's much like the old Thomas Nelson giant print in the verse reference editions would have that at the end of the verse. Okay, so the names and attributes of God. This is just an incredible section here. I've used this for preaching a lot. May write a book on the names of God sometimes, and this is just an extraordinarily helpful section. So the KJVER no longer has to come in this massive, difficult to carry to church deal, but you can actually something that's just wonderful to carry. Now, the notes are not real big. I was mentioning the largeness of the Bible text for Thin Line Bible. This Bible is just wonderful to carry. But we're going to get into the text and just show you how large the print is in the text. Now remember, it's red letter Old Testament, so you might not be used to about what you're about to see. We're just going to go right into Genesis 1. All right? You're not used to seeing red letter in Genesis 1. You know, red lettering didn't enter Bibles till 1898. Louis Klopsch, after consulting with T. DeWitt Talmage, decided to do it in 1898. That's the New Testament. The first complete Bible was 1900. 1900. So this is just amazing. And I was wondering if coming in, like if you could see the P, it'd be difficult. But the red lettering goes okay. The underlining is kind of tough because it kind of clutters up the text. But you can see at the end of every verse that it's got the definition. And it's just fantastic. Now, there's no like references, like it doesn't say see Acts 2:38 or see Acts 4:12 or Philippians 2:5 or something. None of that. Now, I find this interesting, like in Psalms, I mean, you don't see a lot of red letter because that's mostly the psalmist. I was in Isaiah as well, just not much there. But when I say large print, I mean for this size Bible, the print is fantastic. It's very readable. Excellently readable. That's not going to be as large or as dark as my Cambridge large print King James text only. It's going to have more ghosting, obviously more busyness in the text, but you're going to get more information in the text too. So I've had people in times past, they'll just say, I just can't get the King James. And I still try to convince them, read the King James. But if they don't, and they'll phrase it like, if I can't read the King James or I'm not going to get a King James, what would you recommend? And I say the KJVER. And a lot of the changes is a lot like the King James 21 by J.P. Green. So, oh, I'm in the wrong Bible. We're reviewing this. I love that Bible. I'm so used to preaching from it. Okay, so you get to the New Testament. Yep, you got lots of red letter. Lots of red letter. Now, let's see if it's Smithsonian. Usually, a Smithsonian book or Bible is going to lay flat in Genesis. So we're going to see if this lays flat in Genesis. No, and I was in Exodus, so it definitely doesn't lay flat in Genesis. Now, let's see if it's got anything at the back. I want to see, too, if it's red letter. It is red letter in Revelation, and it's a wonderful red letter. I just want to emphasize that. Now, it's got a very small dictionary and concordance in the back, kind of what normally comes in a gift and award Bible. Now, imitation leathers are not imitation leathers like we're used to if you're my age. I mean, they're phenomenal. And, you know, let's go through the printing. I just want to see something real quick. It does have like a black and white map, a few of them, kind of like the date. But just to show you, I mean, it's a very small concordance and dictionary combined. It said it came from a particular company. So this not being Smith sewn, it being glued, it would be really imperative to break this Bible in. We've got a video on the channel on how to break in a Bible. So basically, just to give you the Reader's Digest version of how to break in a Bible, and I think I moved that, is you just take every few pages and do just like this. You start at the top and you do that. And what that does, most of the time, what happens to a Bible like this, unless you put it in direct sunlight, like you never put this in the dashboard of your car, because it's going to, I mean, it's petroleum based, it's going to kill the Bible. Pages begin to fall out. So when you break it in, it really highly prevents the pages from falling out. So let's see the dimensions of this thing. It's 9.3 by 6.4 by less than an inch. Let me show you that. I used to show all the measurements on there, but you know, I just got where I didn't really see the need for it. I was afraid people were using it like to put themselves to sleep at night or something. Okay, so let's see if we can tell what size print. I'm thinking it's 12-point print. A viewer sent me this that has amazing. You can tell what size print. You know, it actually, well, let's look here. Maybe 11 and a half. Let's see if it says anywhere on here. It does say it's large print edition. So, man, I would really just, if you just can't get into King James, or you want the Names of God Bible as it's called, this is a great, well-made option for you. So God bless. Talk with you later in Jesus' name.